Hello everyone, Refresh here. Today I'm going to be building Aether Revolt sealed decks using the standard formulation of 4 packs of Aether Revolt and 2 packs of Kaladesh. This is the first of 2 sealed decks that I'm building. I will start by opening these packs, working through the cards, then going through the process of evaluating the cards, and finally building the deck. So, let's begin. Pack number 1. We have Gunper Osprey, Taken to Custody, Bastion Enforcer, Shock, Renegade's Getaway, Silk Reaver Elite, Augmenting Automaton, Aether Inspector, Implement of Ferocity, Foundry Hornet, Daredevil Dragster, Siege Modification, Oath of Ajani, Embrawl Gear Smasher as a foil, a Swamp, and an Energy Reserve. We have a Hinterland Drake, an Alley Evasion, a Chandra's Revolution, an Alley Strangler, a Druid of the Cowl, 4th Bridge Prowler, Negate, Consulate Turret, Aetherstream Leopard, Rogue Refiner, Lifecraft Awakening, Spire Patrol, Peacewalker Colossus, Baral's Expertise, also shiny, Island, and a Thopter token. Pack number 4, we have an Audacious Infiltrator, a Frontline Rebel, a Dispersal Technician, a Night Market Aeronaut, an Aether Herder, a Fen Hauler, a Watchful Automaton, an Augmenting Automaton, an Aether Inspector, an Implement of Ferocity, Lifecrafter's Gift, a Winding Constrictor, a Reckless Racer, SRAM's Expertise, and a Mountain, and an Energy Reserve token. For the final pack of Aether Revolt, we're starting with a Precise Gift, an Aether Swooper, an Alley Evasion, a Night Market Aeronaut, an Aether Herder, a Fen Hauler, an Aegis Automaton, a Verdant Automaton, a Countless Gears Renegade, a Treasure Keeper, a Gifted Aetherborn, a Consulate Dreadnought, a Call for Unity, a Shiny Shock, and a Forest and a Servo. Now moving on to the 2 Kaladesh packs. We start with 1 Select for Inspection, 1 Hijack, 1 9th Bridge Patrol, 1 Aether Theorist, a Cowl Prowler, a Malphus Squad, an Appetite for the Unnatural, a Night Market Lookout, a Skyskiff, a Windrake, a Contraband Kingpin, an Armorcraft Judge, an Inventor's Apprentice, a Gunper Ori, a Island, and a Servo. Final pack of Kaladesh sees us with a Wayward Giant, a Built to Last, a High Spire Artisan, an Ambitious Aetherborn, a Prophetic Prism, a Gearseeker Serpent, a Consulate Skygate, a Commencement of Festivities, an Impeccable Timing, a Ballista Charger, a Snare Thopter, a Malphus Doorbuster, an Animation Module, a Spire-Sided Infiltrator, shiny, a Mountain, and a Servo. So that's everything. Now let's do an examination of each of the colors to see what we have in them. In white, we have Removal, a Modest Trick, a Decent Creature, a Expensive Enchantment, a Decent Creature, a Terrible Creature, a Trick that's okay, a pretty good token generator with some value built into it. An Aether Inspector is not terribly good. You don't get a great body. An Audacious Infiltrator is pretty good. All that power for 2 mana. I like it. A Peacewalker Colossus is kind of an expensive vehicle. You have to have 4 to crew it. But it makes other vehicles artifact creatures until end of turn, so it's a maybe. Another Trick. Another Aether Inspector. A Bastion Enforcer isn't a bad deal. It's not a great deal, but it's not a bad deal. And the Gunper Osprey is actually pretty good because it's got evasion. I would say that it certainly beats the tricks. White is overall not great. We have 1 piece of removal, a handful of okay cards, and that's about it. Let's look at blue. We have a decent endgame. Windrake is pretty good. Aether Theorist is not bad for a defensive card. We have a decent tempo play. Aether Swooper is not bad for what you get. A Watchful Automaton is not terrible, but it's not great either. It's just a decent down guy. Dispersal Technician's not bad. because it's decent tempo on a body. Baral's expertise is really good. Negate is conditional. Hinterland Drake isn't bad either. Take into custody is just okay tempo. Right now I kind of like blue. There's not a lot of cards, but what we have is fairly decent, so it may be a good secondary color to go into. Baral's expertise being the best because it really is a beast of a tempo play. Alright, in black we have a decent dude, a not so good dude, a decent dude, a really good dude. A Fenhauler is okay, I guess, if you can get enough artifacts out. The Night Market Aeronaut is okay. You can get Revolt off. Augmenting Automaton is modest. I wouldn't say it's great, but since it can pump itself infinitely, it's not terrible either. Another Fenhauler, another Night Market Aeronaut. A fourth Bridge Prowler is kind of okay. It can be a sort of pseudo removal, so I'll say that it's better than everything but the gifted Aetherborn. The Alley Strangler is just okay. It's not a great body, but it's got some evasion. I'll put it down here. Foundry Hornet is possible, just depending on what else I've got going on because of its ability, so I'll keep it down here and I'll think about it. More Augmenting Automaton and the Renegade's Getaway is kind of a anti-removal, maybe a trick, so I'll think about that. It's got, and it creates a creature which isn't terrible, so I don't think black is awesome. There's no real great removal here, and the creatures are just okay. I'm not going to go into it unless I have some really good synergy. Let's go with red. Red has decent creature, decent creature. Red is pretty aggressive with all the creatures that it has so far. Menace is a little better. Inventor's Apprentice is a little worse. Hijack is not bad. Shock is really good. Precise Strike is not terrible. Reckless Racer is pretty good. Frontline Rebel is pretty bad. Chandra's Revolution is pretty good. Emerald Gear Smasher, it's not bad. I mean, if I have a lot of artifacts, it can do a lot. So we'll put it in the maybe. Siege Modification is good if I have a vehicle to modify. And we have another Shock. Okay, I think red, just by virtue of having all this removal in 3 spells, is pretty good. And, you know, the creatures that it comes with aren't bad either. So I'm going to definitely keep it in mind as a possibility. I like it a lot. Green, we have a Fog, which is not very good. A Highspire Artisan is not very good unless I'm really on the defense. The Armorcraft Judge it's not bad if I have enough +1/+1 counter things going on. The Appetite for a Natural is a good sideboard card. Cow Prowler is not bad for a big beater. Verdant Automaton, it can grow. It's not great, but it could be a 23rd card if I need it. The Aether Herder it's okay. It's kind of like getting that extra creature, a 4/4 for 4, so maybe. The Lifecrafter's Gift, it's not bad either, but it's not great. It really just depends on how much I have going on with counters. Implement of Ferocity is the same deal. If I'm playing a counters deck, then I'm going to play with that. The Lifecrafter's Awakening is actually not that bad. It's a way of getting something huge, especially an artifact. I'll definitely keep that in mind as a creature maker if I can have enough artifacts. Aetherstream Leopard is not bad. It's not great either. It's a one-time hard attacker. You got a ramp card, which is nice. Another Implement of Ferocity and a Silkweaver Elite, which is just not bad, but not great. It's only good if I can definitely get Revolt off, and I don't see a lot of ways of doing that right now, aside from the implements, so I'm not 100% in with this plan here. Now we'll take a look at the artifacts and see what we got going on. Animation Module definitely plays with this counter theme, so that's interesting. I can create servos if I'm making counters. I can give more counters if there already are counters. Snarethopter is not great, but it is a flying hasty attacker. Ballista Charge is pretty good, I think, for a vehicle. Consulate Skygate is not very good. Prophetic Prism is good if I am going to be fixing, so I'm definitely going to keep it in mind. Gear per Ore is not terribly good. The Sky Skiff is a decent vehicle as well. The Consulate Dreadnought probably only works if I'm going to put Siege Modification on it, because Crew 6 is pretty ridiculous. So I don't think I'm going to play it, but I'll think about it. Treasure Keeper is not a bad body because it lets me get a second cast. Consulate Turret is not great. It is okay if I'm really going the energy route, but I'm going to put this at the bottom here. Daredevil Dragster is pretty good. So I have actually a handful of good vehicles, and that makes me think that I could be able to play a color that also plays well with vehicles. Like white and red might be the way to go here. Let's see what we have in terms of multicolor that might push us. Rogue Friend is really good. Oath of Vijani is not terribly good. It pumps all my creatures with +1/+1 counters. There is that theme going on with the animation module and the various counter cards in green. And then white, I didn't really see much in the way of counters except for that 9th Bridge Patrol. So I don't know if white really wants to go that route. And so I'm not 100% sold. Oath of Vijani only if I'm playing green-white, and even then, I don't think it's a pull in that direction. It's just a minor buff for 2, and it's an enchantment. So I have to play it on my turn. Spire Patrol is decent if you consider what you're getting. It just freezes a creature on its play. Winding Constrictors, not bad if you're playing counters, like green-black counters, I guess. Let's see what we have going on for counters. We got one here, we got one here, we have 2 there, but we don't really have a way of definitely getting Revolt triggered here. The Contraband Kingpin is not terrible either, but again, it's really focusing on these 2 colors that aren't the best, especially considering how little removal that there is. So I'm really pointing towards going red and white, and then just picking up some vehicles as well. There's not a lot of creatures in white, and so that's the one downside, but the Peacewalker Colossus does play well with the vehicles, and we do get the impeccable timing in here. The other option is, instead of going this way, we can go with maybe blue and red to take advantage of the decent creatures, the flying creatures that are here, and then going over the top with the flying creatures while playing with these other decent creatures. So that's another decent option there. I do think I have a lot of green cards, which does make me think about playing green. And there is this +1/+1 counter theme that's all mashed together right here. Especially when you consider the Fabricate creature, the Oath of Johnny, and the animation module, but I don't think that's quite enough, all things said. I mean, I could go animation module, maybe Oath of Johnny, and then black, and then white, but again, I just don't think there's enough in all of this to make me want to play these colors together. So I'm definitely going to go red, and I'm going to put out the red to see where the curve lies for the color and see what else we might need to fill it. Alright, so this is what we're looking at. We don't really have any 2-drops in red, and we have some potential vehicles to sort of fill it. Let's see what else we can add to this. So if we go blue, we'll get Baral, Select, Hinterland Drake, Wind Drake, Aether Swooper, Technician, Gear Seeker Serpent, and then this doesn't seem to be a great curve. And then we have, if we go into white, we have Impeccable Timing, Osprey, Built to Last, Alley Evasions, which aren't terribly good, SRAM's Expertise, the Infiltrator, the 9th Bridge Patrol, the Countless Gears Renegade, Bastion Enforcer, Peacewalker Colossus, Aether Inspectors as options, Call for Unity, which is not terribly good, and the Aegis Automaton, which I'm definitely not playing. Of these, I'm definitely not playing a number of things here. Alley Evasion's not terribly useful because it's a one-shot, and it's not really that good of a trick anyways. Built to Last could work with the vehicles. Call for Unity, I would need some way of reliably getting Revolt triggered every turn, so let's get rid of that. I'm not terribly fond of the Aether Inspectors. SRAM's Expertise isn't bad though. Then we have Peacewalker Colossus. It's not bad. Even though I don't think I have any creatures that can just run it by itself. I guess the Wayward Giant, the Treasure Keeper. No, not even the Treasure Keeper. Doorbuster. Yeah, the Doorbuster could open it by itself, but nothing really much in here. The curve seems a little bit better here, so I think I'm gonna go with red and white as my colors of choice here, and then sort of play around with what I have left. Maybe also the Prophetic Prism. It's possible that I play the Consulate Dreadnought, but 6 to crew is probably far too much. So let's stop here. Let's see what else we have. I'm gonna keep the Shocks and the Chandra's Revolution for sure. I think this Ram's Expertise is worth keeping. I'm not 100% sold on this Snarethopter, but it does fly in for 3, so I do like that. Doorbuster's not bad either, because it does let us get through. Wayward Giant's pretty good. Ballista Charger, Chandra's Revolution is pretty good. I think Precise Strike is a weak link here, so let's drop that out of red. I think Inventor's Apprentice is not terribly good in itself. I think it's more draft oriented if I'm really going aggro here. Between these, all 3 of these, I think I just need 2 drops, and so I'm gonna keep them. 3 drops, I have too many. So this is where I have to start thinking about what I'm getting rid of. I think the Bastion Enforcer is just enough. These 2 are good enough. I think the Frontline Rebel is not. I mean, I could use it to crew, and that's an option, because I can crew before an attack, but the fact that it has to attack every turn makes it pretty bad, so I'm going to get rid of that. The Emerald Gear Smash, the Sparsight Infiltrators, I definitely keep for crewing purposes. The Reckless Racers also keep for crewing purposes. The Emerald Gear Smasher is a maybe. I mean, there is a way to just get through at the end by throwing vehicles or these guys or even Thopters, so that's a maybe. So I'm going to keep that as a maybe. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spells, some of which can be creatures. Now, I'm not 100% sold on this Peace Walker Colossus just because of the crew 4, but the fact that it could make any of these other ones into creatures by just spending 2 mana kind of makes me want to play it, considering that I have 3 other vehicles here. The Daredevil Dragster, the Ballista Charger, and the Sky Skiff I think are all definite keeps as far as vehicles go, and so you can sort of count them as creatures. Maybe the Hijack can go. I think it may be the weakest link of this batch. That's 24. If I drop 1 more card, we're going to be in business here. And I'm definitely going to consider this Consulate Dreadnought in light of both Siege Modification and Peace Walker Colossus being in the mix, because both of them can turn this into something that can attack. I need to drop 2 more cards. They're going to be probably going to be spells. I think we can get rid of the Prophetic Prism. I mean, as good as it is just to be able to draw and replace itself and then fix mana, I'm not doing any improvisation here. And there's not a lot that I can do with it that can take advantage of it, so I'm going to drop the Prophetic Prism, which means I only have to drop 1 more. Now, the Consulate Dreadnought is not terribly useful unless it can really get a lot of these creatures big enough to crew it, or alternatively play the Peace Walker Colossus or the Siege modification with it. But it almost feels like it might be worth trying just because I have both of these cards and so it's just between the 5 vehicles. I think 5 vehicles is definitely too much. I think what should be going is the Consulate Dreadnought, because I can use any of the other vehicles relatively well. So that's what it's going to be. This is the team here. There's 23 in here. And next I'm going to figure out how many lands that we need. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 white mana symbols. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 red mana symbols. I think because the Peace Walker Colossus wants white mana and we have several 1-drops that want white mana, I'm going to give it 9 plains and 8 mountains. And with that, we have a deck.